It's early November and people are focusing on Christmas.
Burns my ass!
Seriously though, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I know I'm not the only one who believes that November is for Thanksgiving. Unless, of course, you're Canadian, in which case Thanksgiving is in October for some reason. But anyway, I figured I'd go ahead and review some Thanksgiving specials, to get into the spirit of the holiday. And while looking on Wikipedia, I saw that Hey Arnold was on the list. So that's what I decided to watch. And boy, this episode made me choke up, which generally doesn't happen to me very much.
This is crazy, but I'm having feelings again. Like some kind of 14-year-old kid or something. I mean, you remember feelings, right?
So after watching the christening of the Mayflower 2, Arnold has to get to school, where he's taking part in a play put on by his teacher, Mr. Simmons. The overall production of the play itself is a total mess, but the ending comes out just perfect, which in the end makes this play a pretty good metaphor for the episode itself. But it's during the play that we find out that Arnold has never had a proper Thanksgiving, which makes him pretty depressed around this time of year. We also find out that Helga doesn't like Thanksgiving either, because she never gets any attention at home. After the play, Arnold is ever so reminded that he doesn't celebrate a normal Thanksgiving, which makes him sad. And then we cut to Helga's house to see that things aren't exactly going any better. She tries showing off her homemade centerpiece for the table to her dad, but he's just too engrossed in football to pay her any attention. And then we're back at the boarding house, where we see why Arnold doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's because that's when his grandma celebrates 4th of July. And yes, that also means that they celebrate Thanksgiving on 4th of July. To be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if this would make me depressed. Back at Helga's house, her older sister Olga has shown up, causing her even more distress. And back at the boarding house, Arnold asks his grandfather why they play along with his grandma and celebrate the wrong holiday. And his answer is because sometimes it's fun to be different. And strangely enough, I actually agree with him. And yada yada yada, Helga's having a bad time. For the sake of not talking about the entire episode, I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. The important thing to know is that Helga and Arnold both decide to get the hell out of their situations. And then they run into each other and decide to hang out together. And they really open up to each other about the bad time they've both been having. And Arnold, ever being an optimist, points out the Mayflower too and tries to look at the bright side of everything. But it ends up crashing. An obvious metaphor for the bad time they've both been having. Arnold then thinks back to the play from the beginning, and figures that if anybody's having a good Thanksgiving, it would be Mr. Simmons. So they decide to go visit him. And indeed, it does look like he's having a wonderful time. Unfortunately, however, it turns out that they're some of the most unpleasant people around. After excusing themselves to the kitchen, they lament how everyone's behaving, when it's clear how much Thanksgiving means to Mr. Simmons. And it suddenly dawns on them that if Mr. Simmons can put up with his family, so can they. And it's Mr. Simmons' speech at the end that really moved me.
You know, Arnold, the way you always look on the bright side is very, very special. You probably noticed that this isn't the perfect, wonderful Thanksgiving that I wrote about for the pageant. Well, I know that this isn't perfect, but those special people out there are the ones that I love. And every year, it's my little project to get them together in a room and try to make us all thankful for the things we've got. This may not make much sense to you yet, but I'm truly thankful for what I have.
So after that beautiful moment, they both decide that it's time that they go home. Helga's family lets her know just how much she means to them. They even put her centerpiece on the table where it belongs. And seeing this makes Arnold happy for her. And upon his arrival home, Arnold finds everybody ready to surprise him with the Thanksgiving that he's always wanted. With the added bonus of fireworks. Now what can I say about this episode other than it's beautiful? Especially getting to see Arnold and Helga spend time together in this one. It really shows just how much they care about each other. Not to mention just how much their families care about them. So don't just take my word for it. Go ahead and watch it yourself. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is a product of our great society.